Okay, we are live. We're going. We are in. It's Career Day Online. I'm the freelance teacher. I'm talking to a Twitter superstar, someone I actually met through Twitter, and he mentioned that he is a truck driver, been a truck driver for a few years, Quincy Johnson, and he will tell us with my questioning and give you guys information as to what it's all about as a job. What does it take? What do you have to do? How much do you get paid? Right? Because we're talking about dollars. And yeah, and be ready for real talk, because this isn't one of those, okay, I'm going to tell you what you want to hear and I'm going to make you feel good. This is going to be one of those, as you can tell from Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, I'm more nature versus nurture, for real.
Right. So what we're going to find out is what it's actually about and what it is in order to get into the business and stay in the business to get paid. So Quincy, is that okay? Quincy works?
Fine by me, my brother. Let's get it rolling. You can literally ask me whatever you want.
Well, I work with teenagers, and you know they get told all kinds of nonsense. So what I'm wondering, and what you can tell, seeing that you're in the truck now, well, let's start at the beginning. You weren't always a truck driver. How did it start? What did you do? How'd you get in that way?
Well, I'm a special case in that regard. Before I was a truck driver, full disclosure, I was stuck on stupid. Man, I mean, I was a hard worker. Nobody can ever take that away from me. I was a hard worker, but I never did anything past that. Spent the money as soon as I made it. Either drinking it up, smoking it up, or just fucking it up. Pardon my language. What happened was I hit rock bottom, let's say May of 2014. It was bad. Okay. I had to move from Colorado back to Texas again with my tail between my legs. And on that bus ride home, I came up with a 5-year plan. And at the end of that 5 years, I was either going to be a welder or a truck driver, have a car in my name, and at least 10 grand saved up in the bank. And that's what I plotted out on that very sobering bus ride home on a Greyhound from Colorado to Texas.
Oh.
Yeah. Side note, I did leave every parking garage and bathroom stall between Colorado and Texas smoky, but that's a whole nother story.
Okay.
I was in a bad spot. I was just like, yep. I need to calm down. So anywho, I get down to Texas. There's a talk show host out of Denver named Michael Brown. You remember him when the Hurricane Katrina hit? Brownie, you're doing a heck of a job when Bush said that.
Yeah, heck of a job, Brownie.
Yeah. That's the guy. I'm a big fan of his talk show in Denver. We started to follow each other on Twitter. And I was listening to his show on my phone in Texas. He's in Colorado. And he had a call in Friday, so I called in. And he was just like, hey, is this Quincy from Twitter? I'm like, yeah, it's me. He's like, what the hell are you doing in Texas? I'm like, I'm trying to save up enough money so that I can come back to Colorado and go to truck driver school. So he puts me on hold so we can talk during the break. And I can still hear the show going on in real time, right? And the caller after me, and I'm still calling this a miracle because I don't know what else to call it. But the caller after me was just like, I don't know what it is, but I turned on the radio at the right moment. I heard Quincy's story. It just, felt me. It hit me deep in my heart. So I'll tell you what, I run a truck driving school. You tell Quincy if he can find a way up here, we'll pay for his training and find him a job as a truck driver. And my first thought was, the hell is in this weed, man? I must be high. That didn't happen. That's just like I was smoking at times. Like, no. I'm high. Nope. That didn't happen. It was real. You know what I'm saying? And that was on a Friday. That Tuesday, I was gone. Okay. My best friend gave me a gold coin to cash in to pay for my plane ticket and my first month's rent up there back in Denver, and got up there, put in the work, did the training, and they did find me a job. That first job didn't work out, but I'm glad that it didn't because it showed me how not to be a truck driver. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, I forget where the quote comes from, but it basically says, if you're going to F up, get it out the way early. I'm glad I did.
Okay.
Because now I know what not to do as far as being a truck driver. So left there, went to another truck driving company. I was there for 2 years, and my trainer there, he was old school. He had been driving for as long as I was alive. You know, so he trained me the right way and everything, and learned a lot from him. And was there for 2 years. And then I met my queen on Twitter, you know what I'm saying, and moved down to Atlanta, and that's where I've been at ever since, you know.
Okay. How frightening was it? So you're in truck driving school.
Very.
Everybody talks about school. And I'm thinking, I taught high school English for 23 and a half years. Not that I'm counting, but the school to actual in a rig, you're talking thousands of pounds. You're talking about, we had talked off the air last time that you've got double trailer. How rough of a transition was it from school to actually getting behind the truck and being on the clock and being somebody who has to get a load from point A to point B, where it was theory and now it's practice? What was that transition like?
I'm gonna say right now, it can be hard, especially for somebody who's never jumped in a truck before. Yeah, just going through training can be rough because you're sitting behind this big ass hold on there. You're sitting behind this big ass steering wheel and whatnot. And
nice.
yeah, it can be daunting to say the least. What I would tell people who are new to it, new to everything, take a deep breath, ask questions. If all else fails, we have a saying called GOAL, GOAL, get out and look. You know what I mean?
What does that mean? Get out and look at what?
Get out and look at basically if you're backing up into a loading dock or something, or if you're trying to park into if you're trying to park in a spot and you're not sure of where you're at or where the action of your trailer is at, go get out and look. Okay. Because my trailer says, look, I don't care if you got to pop the brakes 100 times to get out and look. I'd rather you do that than to get frustrated and get mad and just hit something, or God forbid, hit somebody. Get out and look. So it can be daunting. After a while, though, you get over that hump. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to say you get complacent, because that's the last thing you want to do in this industry is get complacent. Or even worse, think you know everything. You know what I mean? The moment that I think I know everything about driving a truck is the day I'm going to stop driving a truck, because that's how people get killed. Yes. You know what I mean? So it's like you pretty much learn something damn near every day that you're out here. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the school, you know, like I said, it can be daunting, you know what I'm saying? But just fight through it, you know what I'm saying? Know that the struggle will be worth it. Okay. Most definitely, you know. Okay. What were some of the frustrating things in school, like where you maybe thought that, I don't know if this is the thing for me, I don't know, this is really hard. What was that all about? The struggle was, honestly, for me, backing up, because these things are not easy to back up. You can talk to somebody that's been driving for 30, 40 years, and even they will tell you that, yeah, even they have struggles sometimes backing up into a loading dock or into a truck spot. You're going to have those days. It's going to happen. Doesn't matter how long you've been driving or what you've been driving. There's going to be those days where you're just like, son of a bitch, get it in the hole. Those days happen. Another struggle for me, full disclosure, I don't know how to drive a manual transmission on these trucks, which a lot of people give, you know, they give me crap about it. Chill. I prefer an automatic. It's what I was trained on. And I'm lucky in the fact that I got my license before they put the mandatory restriction on driver's licenses, because 6 months after I got my license, the federal government passed a law stating that if you were trained on a automatic, it has to be stated on your license restricted to automatic transmission only. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I don't know how to drive manual. But the way I see it, I prefer automatics because there's one less thing to worry about when you're out there on traffic, especially if you're going through rush hour traffic. Guarantee you, your ass is driving through downtown LA during rush hour, you're going to wish your ass was on automatic because you're sitting there dancing with the clutch and whatnot, you know, and you're going to end up with freaking clutch legs, which is no fun.
Okay, so then what kind of paperwork did you need? You go in, let's say you're a 17-year-old high school student now. How do you even start? Do you need a special license? Do you need to have an application? What magic paper do you need or not need? How hard is it? I'm 18. Maybe I don't even have a driver's license. What do I do first?
Okay, well, here's the thing. First of all, if you're under 21, you can only drive in your state. You know what I mean? You have to be at least 21 to drive from state to state. So there are some states that allow you to drive at the age of 18 as CDL. I don't really remember which states they are, but I can find out for you. But if you do that, again, you're restricted to driving within your state. As far as getting an actual CDL license, it's simply a matter of going down to the DMV and taking the test, to be honest with you. Now, the schools, you can go to a CDL school, you know what I'm saying, that will train you and everything, but you still have to go down to the DMV and take the test. And even then, once you get on with the company, if it's one of these mega carriers or even a regional trucking company, they're still going to put you through their training as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
There are some big companies that will pay for you to get your CDL. I think Swift is one, maybe Western Express here or England. They will pay for you to get your CDL, but you have to sign a contract saying that you're going to drive for them for at least, I think it's either 6 months or a year. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, and during that 6 months a year, from what I heard, they're going to work you like a mother. They're going to get every dollar out of you that they can, which is fine. Because more miles, more money. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So interesting. So you started, your first job was a little rocky. Then you got on your feet.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Rocky because you didn't get along with the people, or the driving was the problem?
Rocky because the driver was an idiot. Full disclosure, the name of the company is Western Express. They have a policy where if you drive for them for 3 months, you can become a trainer.
Okay.
No matter how long you've been driving before you started with them. My trainer at the time, he had been driving for 8 months. He's still a rookie.
Right.
And now he's out there trying to train me. It's like I couldn't back up because he didn't know how to freaking back up. You know what I mean? Plus the pay was, but I was green and naive, didn't know anything, didn't know any better, and they were the first people to call me back. So I went with them. You know what I mean? So now that I know better, I can school some people as far as what to accept and what not to accept as far as your first gig.
Right. Okay. That's interesting because a lot of times the issue with younger folks when they come out of high school is that first job.
Sorry, I had to roll down the window, man. It's getting a little bit hot. I'm in North Dakota.
Where are you, by the way? Where are you?
I'm in Mandan, North Dakota.
Wow. And I'm here in the Bronx. So here we are. That's great.
Right?
Yeah, North Dakota, and here I am in the Bronx. That's crazy. That's amazing. So your first job was a little bit rough.
Capitalism.
Yeah, right. Hey, well, we'll talk about you being a free thinker later. That's podcast number 2.
Okay.
Because right now you're talking about you had an epiphany. You decided to change it up, work hard, and you went into Had to.
Yeah, you know what happened? Man, is like before I left Colorado for Texas, which, like I said, chapped my ass, man, because I love Colorado. If at any point I can talk my queen into retiring out there, I will. But that's a whole other story. A good friend of mine, basically, verbally broke his foot off in my ass and was just like, look, dude, you're 38. You're almost 40. You gotta get your life together. I don't want to have this conversation with you in 10 years. And that hit me like a ton of bricks, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I went down to Texas with my plan. And my plan was pretty simple. Focus on the money, F everything else.
Right.
So when I got back to Texas, I cut off all my old friends because they weren't about nothing. Quit out drinking. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, I was still smoking weed because I'm just like, I gotta do something to like just ease the pain of me failing once again.
Right.
But I pretty much worked, went home. That's it. And then that phone call happened, and here we are now.
Okay. Interesting. So you said, you know, you talk about hard work and making money and focusing on the money. You sound like one of those tiger moms that I read about in the magazines. Are you sure it's Quincy Johnson and not Quincy Chan? Are you sure you're not Quincy?
That's the tiger mom. I never heard of that
one. The article was about the Asian moms and how they teach their children to focus on results.
Man, that's Asian moms and dads, yeah.
Right. Well, you don't look like a tiger mom, but you sound like one where it's, I'm going to work, I'm going to focus, I'm going to get paid. And a lot of people never get to that point where it's just like, I'm going to goof around and I'm going to hope I'm going to blame someone else for my lot.
Yeah,
you're not talking that language.
No, I never have, and I never will. And to be honest with you, I despise people who even think like that. You know what I mean? It's just like, don't blame others for situations you put yourself into. There's always a choice. Always. Now, it may be a choice between a crappy choice and another crappy choice, but it's still a choice.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, with my life and what I've been through, I don't want anybody to fix their lips to tell me that you can't make it here in America. Because I'm going to look at you funny, and I might say something bad about your mother. I don't want to hear it. Don't sit there and tell me that you can't make it here in America, and I especially don't want to hear that you can't make it in America as a black man, because no. I flat out refuse that. No. You are in control of your life.
Right.
Because if you ain't, somebody else is. Do you really want that for yourself? Like, I've really been in a situation before where I did not control my life, and it sucked. It sucked bad. So I changed. You know what I mean? I ain't saying it's easy, but it's done.
Okay.
It has to be done.
And now you're independent and making money. Let's talk again to a 16, 17, 18-year-old. Now they can't skip steps, right? And they're going to have to work hard. But if they want to make good money as a driver, what do they have to do? What are the magic things to remember? Or maybe magic is the wrong word. What are the main ingredients or best bits of advice that maybe you wish you had gotten early on if they're starting from scratch and they want to get paid and they're willing to hustle a little bit in your world? How do you get paid? What's the best way to go about it?
First things first, you gotta want it. That's the first thing. If you don't have it in here, the mindset, like, you know, I'm gonna do what I gotta do within reason legally to take care of myself and my family, you're already lost in the sauce. So that's first and foremost. You cannot have a victim mentality. You have to walk in thinking, I'm it. I'm the man, or I'm the woman, or however you want to identify these days, whatever. But that is the first step. Second of all, you gotta put the work in. And whatever you do, be it truck driver, dishwasher, whatever you want to do, you gotta put the work in, because nobody's gonna give it to you. You know, nobody's gonna give it to you. You gotta earn it. You got to earn it. Gotta put the work in. No matter how sucky it is, do it. Believe me, when before I became a truck driver, there was a lot of gigs that I just did not want to do. But it had to be done. If I wanted to put food on the table, or if I wanted this bill to get paid, I had to do it. I was a bouncer / roadie for the better part of a decade. Hated it. My body is a wreck now because of that. From all the fights and having heavy things dropped on me.
That's
but
right.
I did it. You know what I mean? So That's it right there, man. I mean, it's really not as hard as people make it out to be. It really isn't. This
Mm-hmm.
thing that we call life, it's only going to be as hard as you make it for yourself. Because again, you are in control of your life, or you should be in control of your life. You know what I mean?
Right. So
Yeah.
with the top 20% of those high school students, they, as bad a rep as they have, there's a top group that is willing to put in the work. So you're now speaking with, let's say, somebody who wants to get paid, which is the, they're thinking about driving a truck. They have it has some lure. You don't need a college degree, right?
Nope.
You don't need any of that stuff. And they want to jump in and start working and being productive people. What should they have in the back of their mind as a beginner to get to where the money comes in best?
First and foremost, know that it's not going to happen overnight. That's going to be first and foremost. It's not going to happen overnight. You're going to have to put in research as far as where, what part of the trucking industry you want to work in, because there's different facets. There's drive-in,
Mm-hmm.
there's reefer, there's flatbed, tanker, doubles and triples, oversized. So you got to figure out what works best for you,
Mm-hmm.
and then go from there. And for the youngins that don't want to be a trucker, but still want to be about their money and their business, well, find something that you like, and then find out how to make money off of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Okay. And you had mentioned before driving regionally, driving nationally, double,
Correct.
working for other companies, being your own driver. Which way did you go, and what are the dollars like? Because teenagers are going to listen when you start talking
Yeah.
about money and there are real numbers. They listen.
Okay. Well, there is OTR, which is over the road. That's when you're traveling all 48 states. You may even go up north into Canada from time to time. There are some companies that do that. There's regional, where you only drive in a certain region of the country, like say Southeast Regional, Southwest Regional. That's where I was at for 2 years before I moved to Atlanta. I was Southwest Regional, based out of Denver, but I would go out to California a lot, Arizona, California, Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and maybe Missouri. Okay. Yeah, there's Southeast Regional, Southwest Regional, and then there's local work where you just stay inside of your city. You might go, you might have a radius of say 100 to 200 miles or something like that. So that's basically up to the driver as far as what area you want to be in. For me, it's like now that I have a woman, you know what I'm saying, she wants to be home more often. So I'm slightly coming off the road and I'm going regional. Before I met her, I'm not even gonna lie, I lived in my truck for 2 years straight.
Wow.
Didn't have an apartment. I just had a PO box.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And lived in the truck for 2 years. It was cool.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's for everybody, but as for me, it's just like, okay, it's just me. I don't have a woman, don't have kids. I don't have any relatives to speak on. So why would I pay rent on something that I might see 8 days a month? I just live in a truck and I just rent.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh!
Show the crowd.
He made it.
Should we see it or no?
No, he didn't hit it, but boy, when I say it was close, that close.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the thing. You have these gigantic vehicles. We see them on the road, and so a new person probably would start out regional. How does the pay work? How does it go for you, and which way did you go so the money comes in nice?
Okay, starting out as a rookie, you're pretty much at the mercy of the company. Okay, I'm just being honest with you. Each company has a different starting pay depending on your level of experience. Starting out, having said all that, starting out, I wouldn't drive for less than 30 to 32 cents per mile at a minimum, even as a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Anything less than that, they're just trying to, give you the business. Like, I'll be honest, because I didn't know any better. When I was at Western Express, I was getting paid 26 cents a mile, which is dog food. Even for 2014, it was dog food, and no good, no good.
Right.
So from there, my next company, Georgia Express, I started out at 32 cents a mile and ended up, when I left there, because I was doing so good and they gave me bonuses, I ended up at 38 cents a mile, which I can tell you, which is still on the lower end, but you can still make some money. You just got to hustle for it. Like,
Right.
I was routinely getting 1,000 to 1,200 a week after taxes, but I was putting the work in. You know what I mean? You might have to run 500, 600, 700 miles in a day. Don't matter. Do it. You do what you got to do to freaking get that money. Like now, I'm making 50 cents a mile because I've been in for 4 years. This hit 4 years back in March. So I'm making 50 cents a mile, which for somebody who doesn't own a truck, if you're a company driver, 50 cents a mile, that's like the top tier as far as per mileage. Like my new gig, I'm going to be driving a flatbed where I'm going to get paid a percentage of the load. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to get 25% of whatever the broker is paying us to deliver that load. So if the load is so if the broker is getting paid, say $5,500, I'm getting 25% of that. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. Yeah. And that's only because you're a veteran driver. Am I right? No new person is going to get handed that, are they?
For flatbed, it's different than dry van. Flatbed normally goes by percentage of the load. You know what I'm saying? Their rates are different than say dry van. You know what I mean? So yeah, doing flatbed, it works out better to get paid a percentage of the load than per mile. Because there's a lot more work involved with flatbed than dry van. You have to stop like every 3 hours or 150 miles. You got to stop and like readjust your straps on the load to make sure that everything's still snug and tight because the load will fall off. Seen that happen. Ooh. It's not good. It's not a good time. No. Not a good time at all.
No. Yeah, the new people, right? Should they jump in and try to be a free agent? What I mean is, should they try to be driving as an independent person or work for a company? What would you slide towards if you were talking to someone 21 years old, let's say?
I have seen rookies just jump in and become a owner-operator, maybe even owner-operator with their own authority. I would say if you got the money for it, because that's going to take some money, to buy your own truck. Let me say this. Do not, let me get close on the camera. Do not, under any circumstances, lease a truck. If any company comes to you and asks you to be a lease operator, you tell them no.
Interesting.
The worst thing you can do is lease a truck. You will be screwed within an inch of your natural life. Seriously.
What's the problem? It sounds like a lease. What's the deal? Why avoid it?
The deal is you get screwed over until you own that truck, which, side note, you're never going to own that truck because you keep getting screwed over. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, you are a lease operator. You're still on the hook for a truck payment and maintenance. You know what I mean? And if you decide to leave and go someplace else, you don't get to keep that truck. They keep the truck and whatever money you've been paying on that. If you are,
then why does anybody do it? That sounds like a joke of a deal. Why would it? What's the secret?
Because they don't know any better.
Okay.
Like I was going to do lease operator, and I swear I had like 50 truck drivers in my DMs. Don't do it, Q. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm just like, why? And they started laying out you know, why you shouldn't do them. It's like, oh, well, yeah, that makes sense, you know, because you're pretty much going to be a slave to the truck.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because, yeah, it's just no good. But as far as somebody wants to just jump right out and be a owner-operator, if you got the money and the smarts and the network, because being an owner-operator is more than just buying a truck.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You better have at least $5 to 7 grand stashed up just for incidentals. Flat tire, which our tires are not cheap. I mean, average tire costs you about $300 per tire.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's for a tire. You want a brand new one? Looking at about $600. You know what I mean? Per tire. And we got 18 wheels. You know what I mean?
My Subaru tires don't cost that much.
Exactly. Hell, my first car barely cost that much, so that's another story. So if you get the money saved up, and if you know who to talk to, go for it, man. Shoot your shot. I would say for others who don't have that type of money or the kind of resources, company driver is not that bad. It really isn't, especially if you happen to get a really cool dispatcher. It was cool. Like when I left Western Express and was working with my second company, I told my dispatcher, man, look, if I make money, you make money. So keep me running. You know? He was just like, I got you. I see him. I would see him like really once every 3 months or something. The rest of the time, I'm on the road driving. Right. You know.
And more driving equals more dollars.
We got a saying: if the wheels ain't turning, you're not earning. So if the wheels are turning, you're making some money. Sitting somewhere, good luck.
Does it get frustrating? Are there times when you're like, man, what have I done with myself? It's 4 years in. I'm just not feeling it. This is not what I thought. Or is it, in general, a positive choice?
That's a damn good question. I will say that I've never once regretted being a truck driver. I will say that I have had those days where it's like, damn it, not a damn single thing went right today. You know, I spent 4 hours at the warehouse waiting on them yardbirds to load me or should I say unload me. Oh, that's bold. Okay, it's a bold move. But yeah, you will have bad days just like in any other job, any other profession. It happens. But as far as me regretting the choice to become a truck driver, hell no. I'll be honest with you, me becoming a truck driver and me meeting my queen, easily the best thing to happen to me in the last 20 years. No BS. Okay. Without a question. Two best things to happen to me in the last 20 years. Straight up.
You had mentioned that you were driving a double tanker truck earlier when we spoke before.
Correct.
Talk to the crowd. I'll talk to our legions of fans about that because
let me get all 20 fans out there.
I see those double trailers. They're gigantic. It must weigh tons upon tons. It looks a little scary. You said you had 2 tankers back there, right? I mean, I can only imagine what that was about. How did you get that job? What was it like? And how much did you make?
Well, that job, I'm still here for the time being. My last day is next Friday. How I got the job, actually, from Twitter. A guy that I follow, he's a truck driver, and he's like, hey, man, look, if you want to change the pace, you know, let me know. And I'm at the point now, just like anybody offers me a job, my first thing is the money. Pardon me, sorry. The money. So he showed me his end of year pay stub, and I compared it to mine. I'm just like, I'll be there in 3 weeks because he literally made double what I made and put in half the mileage. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, I'm leaving because I am not happy here, but I'm not going to air that dirty laundry. I'm just going to say I'm the type of person I prefer happiness over money.
Okay.
You know what I mean? As far as my gig now, I'm driving a single tanker now. I'm loaded up with motor oil and everything, but they also have those double tankers.
Yes.
Not like double dry vans or triple dry vans, but double tankers of hauling either diesel or jet fuel. Matter of fact, probably at some point of this weekend, I'm gonna be rolling the double tankers again, going from the yard to Casper, Wyoming, to the airport to deliver jet fuel out there.
And how much do the whole thing, the whole rig, the truck, the two tankers, what does it weigh? And how difficult is that to navigate?
Fully loaded, you're looking at about 126,000 pounds. You know what I mean? Which for a regular dry van, a reefer or tanker, you're allowed 80,000 pounds. But for a double or triple, obviously we're going to be over that because there's more weight. As far as driving them, I'm not gonna lie, I was apprehensive at first, but after a couple hours, I mean, it's really not that different from driving a regular driving. You just got to be mindful of your turns because now you're 100 feet long, so you really got to be mindful of your turns. They got to be very, very wide, you know. But aside from that, it's cool.
Okay. And so you're driving around the country. You have a 100-foot long double tanker beast. How can you, is there any way to verify that you've got a path ahead of you where you're not going to have a problem? You're not going to have a bridge that can't hold you, or you can't have a turn that's not okay. Like, I would be worried about the 7,500 miles I've got to go. What happens if I reach something that that can't handle the truck?
Okay, what you do in a situation like that? If you're driving, you know, a overweight load or a long load, like, you know, I have, your dispatcher will tell you where you can drive, where you can't drive, because they know ahead of time where you can drive and where you can't drive at. Luckily, when I'm driving double tankers, it's mainly inside the state of Wyoming, and it's on 2-lane state highways that are built for that type of stuff because I'm delivering to either airports or to mines. You know what I mean? So again, your dispatcher will let you know where to go. Also, you can either get you a truck atlas or one of those. I got a fancy GPS right here.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
nice.
Oh, and mind you, if you're gonna get a GPS, get one specifically for trucks because they make an auto GPS and they make a GPS. Don't get the auto GPS. You're gonna have a bad time. It's gotta be the truck GPS because that one has all the truck routes routed out for you and lets you know if you're gonna be overweight for this road. It's gonna let you know if it's a toll bridge coming up. So you pretty much know in advance where you can go and where you can't go, you know, which kind of makes me, you know, a little bit perturbed when I see these videos on YouTube about how this overweight trucker went on a bridge that wasn't rated for his load and, you know, wound up in the water, or he destroyed the bridge or wound up in the street he wasn't supposed to be on. Like, dude, did you not plan out your route beforehand? Like, come on, man, what are we doing? You're making us look bad, you know?
And how much?
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Think of the percentage, all the stuff that you know as a veteran trucker, right? Let's all your knowledge. What percentage of it did you get in truck driving school, and how much did you get driving? Now that you are where you are.
All right. Well, I mean, I appreciate you calling me a veteran, but I still consider myself a rookie. Because, like I said, you're gonna learn something out of it every day. I'll be honest. Most of the stuff that I learned, I got it from being out here on the road. Real world experience. Because, like, you can only learn so much from a book. You actually got to get out here, put your ass in a seat, and see what's out here to, like, learn what is going on, you know? So, yeah, so majority of it, I learned it from actually going through it. You know what I mean? Like, my first time driving in the snow, what I'm going to tell you, it was white knuckles on the steering wheel, just like, you know, putting no snow chains and driving 4 or 6 inches of snow or something like that, or driving through a thunderous rainstorm or something, or, you know, it's, you learn by doing, you know.
Okay. And are there places like when you go to a truck stop, or there's some veterans or some place where you go where you pick up knowledge as well, or over the radio? The stereotype is you guys are on the CB radio chatting with each other, sharing knowledge and like talking about what's coming up and what's on the road. And is there any truth to that, or the crosstalk between drivers?
There's some truth to that. Honestly, like there's a radio in my truck, but I rarely cut it on just because nowadays it's just, you know, people jaw jacking back and forth about this, that, and the third, and BS. I say it's about 90% BS, 10% actual. Hey, there's an accident down here. Be careful, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'll be honest with you. My first year and a half, I didn't even have a radio in my truck. And as far as going to the truck stop and like talking to other truckers, for me personally, I never did that because my focus was on getting as many miles as I can. So when I am in a truck stop, I get in and out as fast as I can because my thing is if you're sitting down swapping war stories and everything, or sitting in a restaurant, whatever, you're not out on the road making money. And I know that may sound weird for some people, like, well, just run them over, why don't you? I know that may sound weird for some people. You know, I'm not saying don't take the time out to enjoy yourself. I'm just saying, you know, if there's money to be made, go make the money. Like me personally, I push myself very hard when I'm on the road.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I try to run out my clock as much as I can, you know, and I'll talk to you whenever, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And you've been driving now, what, 4.5 years?
I've been driving for 4 years. Give me a second here. I got to put this thing on the charger.
This is real world interview, people, right? This isn't some kind of canned thing. You see my very expensive studio behind me. Quincy's working in the, he's got a contract with Sony, so he's in their studio. This is high-end stuff. High-end stuff.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, what's your most lucrative year, and does the new gig that you have enable you to make quite a bit more?
Up until now, my highest paycheck came with my last gig, but when I tell you I had to bust my ass for it, it was 1 week, 4,400 miles. I think my check was $1,719 after taxes.
Okay.
But I ran my ass off and had to work my ass off. Like my last gig, I was doing LTL, which is called less than a truckload. So basically, the whole trailer is filled, and you go to this place and this place and this place, unloading the back of the truck, which is office cabinets, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in the truck, you know. I'm in the trailer, unloading cabinets weighing anywhere from 50 to 140 pounds. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that one, like I said, it was 4,400 miles that week, and which is basically about 700 miles every damn day. And I think I had like 4 or 5 stops, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But on average, in all honesty, if you are a new person coming out, if a company can't guarantee you at least $900 a week, walk away. Walk away. You know what I mean? Because like anything less than that would just be a freaking insult. You know what I'm saying? Like it needs to be at least $900 a week, at least, and that's $900 a week after taxes. You know what I'm saying?
And that's to start. You say a new person, a new guy coming out, new person coming out. That should be their baseline.
Correct. Now, having said all that, even I, as somebody who's been at it for 4 years, there are going to be those weeks where you only make $500-600, but it's through no fault of your own. Either you had a truck breakdown, or traffic issues, or the truck was getting serviced, or they just didn't have a load for you. Mm-hmm. Those weeks happen as well. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is when everything clicks, when everything is in place, you should be making a minimum. You know what? I'll say they kind of took a hit. a minimum of 800 to 900 a week after taxes. You know what I'm saying? Like bare minimum 800. If they can't guarantee you that, find another place. You know what I'm saying? Because like I mean, in all honesty, the money you make is totally up to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's how hard you want to run. You know what I mean? Like you got guys out here that only want to be out, like if they're doing regional or like over the road, they only want to be out for, you know, a week at a time or 2 weeks at a time, and then they're sitting there wondering why they're not making any money. Well, you're not putting the work in, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Not putting the work in. You know what I mean? Like, let's see how can I phrase this. If you average at least 3,000 miles a week, which basically comes out to about 500 miles a day, if you're running 6 days a week, you can pretty much guarantee yourself $1,000 a week after taxes, which is not that bad considering there's 52 weeks in a year. Let's say you take off 2 weeks, that's still 50 grand a year, which is not too shabby.
Right.
Not too shabby at all.
Right. That's not too bad. And that's accessible because nobody is asking for your high school GPA. Nobody's asking, did anybody ask to see your diploma or ask you for your SAT score or your average in high school English, anything like that?
No. I mean, really, all you really need is a GED.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You don't need a diploma or anything like that, you know, which is not to say that, you know, we're all just dummies out there, because we are some smart people. Granted, there are some dumbass truck drivers out there, but
right.
By and large, we are very educated, because, hell, we mostly sit on our ass and think. Like, I'll be honest with you, I love getting out on the road. I mean, I've solved a lot of problems and thought out a lot of things just driving on the road, radio cranked up, you know what I'm saying? And I just think out my problems. I think, okay, I need to do this, but I can't do that. How is this going to work? What am I going to do when I get here? What am I going to do when I get there? And, you know, it's basically plotting and planning. I love it, you know?
Is there any romanticism to it? You're driving the truck, the sun's going down, you got the Rocky Mountains in the background, and you're getting paid. Does that ever happen, or is that a Hollywood fantasy?
Oh, it happens to me every damn day, to this day. It most certainly does. Yes, to me, hell, yes. I truly consider myself one of the last cowboys out here, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I vividly remember, and this is before I even thought about being a truck driver. I was watching some PBS special and about trucking, and they had this guy on there. He was driving this truck, and he was from Russia or something. And I just remember him screaming at the top of his lungs, "This is freedom! This is freedom!" Yeah, I'm just like, wow, what is making him so damn happy? And it's like, oh, he's driving a truck. I get it. You know, I mean, while I am driving for a company, I'm pretty much my own boss. You know what I mean? I'm not getting micromanaged, which I hate that crap. You know what I'm saying?
Don't we all?
Yes. Your dispatch is your boss. You do your job, they will leave you the F alone. You know what I mean? Just do your job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember, like I said, at my last gig, they told me flat out, get the load there safely and on time. We really don't care what you do past that. Be safe, be there on time. Past that is your thing. You know, we don't care, you know. So there it is.
That's great. Well, let me ask you one more thing before we go.
Okay.
One or two things that you gave some really solid advice. Don't lease a vehicle. Make sure that you know, if you're under 18, you're going to be driving locally, things like that. Any one or two things that maybe you wish you had heard or you want to impart to some of the teens about the business itself. We'll talk again, I'm sure. And you might think it's
dude. I've got gems for you, brother. Seriously, I got gems. Let's keep this thing going. Any more advice as far as trucking industry?
Yeah, like two things that maybe you're like, look, here's the deal. This is something that you really need to know as an 18-year-old going into the business.
There was somebody calling in.
Just, you know, ask questions. When it comes to trucking, there's no such thing as a dumb question. ask questions, and just put the work in, man. Really, just put the work in. You know, but like this, it's like there's a gentleman that I know, and this isn't me bragging. It's just, you know, me saying what's going on. I helped him become a truck driver, and this gentleman, you know, middle-aged dude, you know, saying had a bit of a had a bit of a drug problem and whatnot, hard drug problem, not just weed, hard drug. But he saw me, you know, tweeting away about, you know, me loving truck driving, and he hit me in the DMs and was like, "Yo, man, what's going on? You know, I'm kind of want to get my life together. You think I can be a truck driver?" And my first question is, well, can you pass the drug test? That's another thing. You gotta be able to pass the drug test if you want to be a truck driver. That you got to. And not just a P test, a hair test, because some companies are doing a hair test. Okay? P test, that goes for a month. Hair test goes up to 90 days. So first things first, you got to be clean. You know what I'm saying? So he was just like, all right, I'll holler back at you in 90 days. So he got sober and clean for 90 days and put him in the right direction. And now he's, you know, clean and sober, drug-free. He actually just hit his 2-year anniversary of driving a truck, you know what I mean? Which again, it's positive that anybody can do this. Anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. And then last thing is, I had mentioned and called you a veteran truck driver. You've been driving for over 4.5 years, Quincy. How come you don't consider yourself a veteran? What's the magic number? 4 years is 4 years. Sounds like a veteran to an outsider. Why do you not consider yourself a veteran after all this time?
I'm going to tell you what a gentleman told me who had been driving for 25 years. He still considered himself a rookie because you're always going to learn something new out here. And he told me you're only as good as your last load. You know, you're constantly learning things, tips and tricks out here on the road. So I mean, so in my mind, if he's been doing it for 25 years and he doesn't consider himself a veteran, how could I consider myself a veteran? I want to be doing it for 4 years. You know what I mean? It's just you take it day by day. You know, if other people want to think that, all right, cool. But me, like I said, I'm still learning things. I'm still, you know, occasionally will make a rookie mistake, like, you know, popping the brakes off, but still having it in neutral. I'm like, why ain't I going? Oh, yeah, I'm in neutral. So it happens, you know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Well, that's fascinating because 4 years in, you know, and you still learn and you're not intimidated by it, and you actually realize that it must make day-to-day existence that much easier, knowing that you will probably encounter something you haven't had before, but you can learn from it and move on. That alleviates a lot of frustration.
Yeah, like full disclosure, what was it? Yeah, in March I actually hit my first animal for the first time. You know, well, deer, I should say. You know what I mean? Which I don't get why they stand in the middle of the freaking highway. I don't get that. It's like they got a death wish. But he see me, I saw him, I'm honking the horn, he's just like,
okay.
I'm like, okay, you're going to get hit, boom, you know? What are you going to do?
Right.
Oh, that's another thing. If you are driving down the road and there's deer in the road and you can't switch lanes, hit them. Do not jam on your brakes. That's the worst thing you can do in the truck is jam on the brakes because you will jackknife and it won't be pretty.
Right.
Hit them. If they won't get out of the way, hit them. That goes for deer, moose, elk, whatever.
Right.
Hit them.
And as much as we love animals, jackknifing the truck on the road is going to cause all kinds of problems.
Exactly.
For a lot of other people besides yourself.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is, you know, jerk the wheel because that's just it's not good. It's not good at all. You know, I didn't want to hit that deer, but I was in the right lane. There was a truck in the left lane, and I wasn't about to go off in the ditch on the right side. I had to hit him, you know.
Yeah. Better that than the flip side, which would be truck in the ditch. Maybe you get hurt. It would have been a disaster every which way.
Correct. Because I've been in the ditch before because of an accident, and I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Yeesh.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to do this again because I still have more things I'd like to talk about, and I want to get some specifics about specific runs you've done that were memorable, specific things that would go in the Quincy Johnson permanent truck logbook. But our fans are gonna have to wait for the next one. But let's chat in a little bit. This is great. I'm gonna hang up, and then we'll start. This will be the beginning of a series with you, and I'm gonna try to get some other people to tell young people what it's actually like, what the real deal is all about.
All right. If I can say one last thing.
Sure.
In case you say you're going to show this to your class, right?
Yes. I'm going to put it out there for the world. Be ready.
Okay.
It's gonna go viral.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I want to talk specifically to your class.
Okay.
Okay? I really don't give a damn what you hear on the radio, on TV, social media. Don't let any of that affect you and your mindset, because again, you are in control of your own life. Don't worry about what they're doing down the block or what they're doing on the corner. You worry about what you got to do to make sure that you are in control of your life and that your head is above water. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to save you but you, okay? So you got to make sure that your house is in order. Got to be done. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It may downright suck. Do it anyway. That way, when you do get to where you want to get at, it's going to feel that much better. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So hold your heads up high, men and women. You got this. Also, pineapples don't go on pizza. I'm done.
Okay. Yeah. Nobody likes pineapples on pizza. They're lying when they tell you that. So that was great. And it's great when students hear it from somebody else, somebody that's not me, or somebody else that's not close to them. When they hear it from somebody who has real credibility and is out in the field, it really is priceless. Quincy, I'd like to thank you, and we will do this again. And
hey, let the people know. I'm on Twitter at Quincy Loves BBWS. Yeah, I know. I like big, beautiful women, whatever. If you have any questions, about being a truck driver, or if you just want to talk, I'll listen. All right? You are not in this thing alone. Okay? I want you to know that right now. At Quincy Loves BBWS. Hit me up if you need some info about truck driving, or just, somebody to talk and rant to. I got you, okay?
Okay. Quincy, we'll talk soon, and thank you again in our first interview in a series.
Yes, sir. Take care, man.
Thanks, buddy. Talk to you soon.
All right, later.
All right, bye-bye.
All right.